Have you ever heard the story of a teenager who stood up by sitting down? Long before Rosa Parks made history by refusing to give up her seat on a bus, a 15-year-old girl named Claudette Colvin made that same brave choice. She was an African-American high school student living in Montgomery, Alabama in the year 1955. Life during this time was unfair and very hard for black people in the South. The rules were called Jim Crow laws. They separated people by race. These laws said that African Americans had to sit at the back of the bus and give up their seats if a white person wanted to sit down. But Claudette knew that was not right. She had learned about her rights in school and believed that everyone should be treated fairly. Even though she was young, Claudette made a decision that would change her life and help spark a movement for justice. Claudette Colvin was born on September 5, 1939 in Montgomery, Alabama. She was raised in a poor neighborhood called King Hill. Her birth parents were not able to care for her, so she was adopted by her great-aunt and great-uncle. Claudette loved reading and going to school. Her favorite subject was history. She especially liked learning about African-American heroes like Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth. These stories taught her about courage and standing up for what is right. Even as a little girl, Claudette noticed that black people were treated unfairly. There were whites-only water fountains and African Americans could not eat in certain restaurants or use the front door. Even going to school was unfair. Black schools were old and had fewer books and supplies. Claudette did not think that was okay. She dreamed of becoming a lawyer so she could fight these unfair laws. On March 2, 1955, Claudette was riding the city bus home from school. She had just come from Booker T. Washington High School, where she had learned about the United States Constitution and her rights as a citizen. She took a seat in the middle section of the bus. This section was supposed to be shared by both black and white passengers, but black people still had to give up their seats if the white section filled up. A white woman got on the bus and the driver told Claudette and 3 other African American students to give up their seats. The others got up, but Claudette stayed seated. She said that she had paid her fare just like everyone else and that it was her constitutional right to stay seated. She later said she felt like Harriet Tubman was holding one hand and Sojourner Truth was holding the other. She felt strong and brave. But not everyone saw her bravery. The bus driver called the police. Claudette was dragged off the bus and arrested. She was taken to jail and held there until her mother and pastor came to bail her out. After she was arrested, Claudette was scared. She was just a teenager and had never been in trouble before. The police did not treat her kindly. They called her names and locked her in a small cell. The city charged her with disturbing the peace, violating the segregation laws, and assaulting an officer. Even though Claudette did not hurt anyone, she was treated like a criminal. Many adults in her community were afraid to speak out. They worried that if they protested, they could lose their jobs or be hurt. Claudette's bravery was not praised at the time. Some people even said she was too young or not the right person to be the face of the movement. But Claudette never stopped believing she had done the right thing. Later that year, another woman, Rosa Parks, refused to give up her seat on a Montgomery bus. This time, the leaders of the black community used the moment to start a large protest called the Montgomery Bus Boycott. For over a year, African Americans refused to ride the buses. They walked to work and school instead. The boycott was organized by a young minister named Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It became one of the most important events in the civil rights movement. While Rosa Parks became a national symbol of courage, Claudette Colvin's earlier act was mostly forgotten by the public. But Claudette's role was not over yet. Even though Claudette was not chosen as the face of the bus boycott, she became one of the key people in a court case that helped end segregation on public buses. In 1956, a case called Browder v. Gayle was filed to challenge bus segregation in Montgomery. 4 African American women were plaintiffs in the case. One of them was Claudette Colvin. The case went to federal court and the judges ruled that segregating buses was against the Constitution. This was a huge victory for civil rights. Claudette's courage helped win that case. But her name was still not well known. Many years would pass before people began to understand how important she really was. After the court case, Claudette found it hard to live a normal life in Montgomery. She faced teasing and threats. She had trouble finding work. Eventually, she moved to New York City to start over. She worked as a nurse's aide and helped raise her children. Claudette stayed out of the spotlight for many years. She did not seek attention. She just wanted justice. But she never forgot what she had done or why she had done it. It took many years, but Claudette Colvin finally began to get the recognition she deserved. In the 1990s and 2000s, historians and writers began to tell her story. She was invited to speak at schools and events. In 2021, at the age of 82, she asked the state of Alabama to clear her criminal record from 1955. The judge agreed and erased the charges. People now honor her as one of the first to take a stand against unfair laws. Her courage as a teenager helped change history. Claudette Colvin teaches us that you are never too young to make a difference. She stood up for her rights even when she was scared. She believed in fairness and justice. Even when the world told her to sit down, she stayed seated. Today, young people still fight for what is right. Whether it's fairness at school, kindness to others, or justice in the world, Claudette's story reminds us to be